In the city of Sabar, Vishwavasu, and in Avanti, King Indradyumna both were getting anxious to see their beloved god again, as many days had passed since their visit to Nilkandar. One night, while sleeping, Bhagwan Nil Madhav appeared in Indradyumna's dream, and it was for the first time he was watching the blue-colored statue of his god. And the supernatural brilliance, the king was brimming with devotion. Nil Madhav informed the king about the right time and said, "O my great devotee Indradyumna, go back to the kingdom of Utkal. There you will find a log of wood floating in the water by the sea. Build the idol of my brother Balaram, my sister Subhadra, and me. By doing this, you will establish a grand temple on the banks of the same sea, and you will establish the temple following all the rituals. Till the end of Kali Yuga and Kalki incarnation, Neelanchal, the blue sea, will be my residence. Complete this work given to you with help of my primordial devotee Vishwavasu." As soon as the dream ended, King Indradyumna woke up from a deep sleep with hands joined and murmuring salutations to Bhagwan Nil Madhav. The next day, King Vidyapati, along with other councillors, left for the kingdom of Utkal. On reaching, Indradyumna told Vishwavasu about his dream, and together they started searching for that divine log. After searching for some time, as instructed by Bhagwan Nil Madhav, they found a giant log floating in the water. The king pulled the log from the water himself. Out of the log, they start the work of building the idols and the temple. While working on the task given by the god, King Indradyumna decided to spend the rest of his life on the holy land of Neelanchal and build a city along with the temple. Since the size of Neelanchal is similar to Panchajanya, a conch shell of Bhagwan Vishnu, the city was named Shankha Kshetra. In the midst of all this, a big problem had arisen in front of the king. By the grace of Nil Madhav, the construction of the temple and the city was going on in full swing. But there were many obstacles in the making of the idol. Many craftsmen were called from far and wide, but none were able to break even the slightest piece of that wooden log. The king called many great craftsmen, but their effort were in vain. In the end, construction of the temple was almost finished, but the divine log was still there, and this ate up the king from inside, and he became sad and frustrated in front of this test of the god. One day, while king was sharing his worries about the idol with his counselors, an old carpenter arrived in the courtroom. When asked the purpose of coming, he told the king that he had come from far away to make idols. Due to this claim of the old craftsman, all the members present in the Rajya Sabha laughed at him. Well, how can this old man perform the work that was not accomplished by such great craftsmen? But despite this doubt, the king decided to give him a chance. "Thank you, Rajan, but I have one condition for making the idols," the carpenter said. "What condition?" the king asked. "The condition is, O king, I will make the idol in closed room, in a secluded room, and till this work is done, no one will come inside that room." The king found this condition a bit strange, but he was compelled, and so, as per the craftsman's wish, the king locked the workshop and placed guards so that no one could wander near the room. Meanwhile, King Indradyumna's queen, Kundicha, and Vidyapati's wife Lalita had also come there from the capital to see the temple and the new city. Hearing this strange condition of idol making, the queen was filled with curiosity. So she stood outside the room and started listening to the sounds of chisel and hammer coming from inside. Sometimes the king, Vidyapati and Vishwavasu would also be pleased to hear the sound of idols being made from across the closed door along with the queen. After 21 days, suddenly, the sounds coming from inside the room stopped. The king and queen were disturbed by this, as they thought the old craftsman may have died due to continuous work. King ordered to break the lock of the room, and once inside, the king and queen were astonished as there was no sign of the old craftsman inside the room, as if he had suddenly disappeared. Now the king in the room turned to the half-finished idols. The hands placed on the construction site were half-made. The eyes were big, round, and the legs were not there at all. These idols did not look like idols of three supreme ones, and nor did the statue of Neel Madhav look like what king saw in his dream. The king and queen were shocked to see this, and by this time, Vishwavasu, Vidyapati, and others also reached there. No one had seen such a representation of Krishna, Balram, and Subhadra in their lifetime. So they all started looking at the idol with great surprise. Oh Keshav, what a dilemma is this? Oh Bhagwan, why are you giving your sincere devotees this strange and unfathomable tests over and over again? Hey Govind, I was ignorant. This time too, as I could not restrain myself, and what a fool I was to open the door. Look at the form made of you. O Keshav, deliver us from this wrath. Saying this, the king started crying loudly. Along with the king, Vishwavasu also felt sad, remembering his beloved Neel Madhav. Suddenly, the aroma of tulsi, sandalwood, and yagya started consuming the room. The environment of the workshop became similar to what Vishwavasu and Vidyapati had witnessed long ago in the Nilakandar cave. With a loud roar, there was a voice again. Calm down, Indradyumna. I had said that everything is determined and directed by me. My coming, my going, and my form, everything. My form has changed since ages. For the salvation of devotees, I have transformed myself into Meen, Kachap, Narasimha, and Parshuram, Ramakrishna, and for you, I took the form of Neel Madhav. You did not open the door, Indradyumna, but I made you open it, because it is in this form I wish to incarnate myself. Akashvani further said, You are thinking, what happened to that craftsman? It was none other than my own supreme devotee, Devashilpi Vishwakarma, who gave the form to my idol according to my orders. From today onwards, this form of mine will be known as Purushottam Jagannath. I will be known as the purifier by saving the fallen people in Kali Yuga with this half-formed appearance. O King, don't worry anymore. You have made yourself a place at my feet forever by your devotion. At the end of the Akashvani, the eyes of the king were filled with devotion, and he bowed to the three idols. After this, Indradyumna started the work of placing the deities inside the temple with rituals as per the wish of Bhagwan Vishnu.